Welcome back to Seen It Before, where we're probably going to say something stupid about your favorite movie because we've seen it all before. I'm Danny.
I'm Dan, and I don't have to fix my hair every time we start this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I blame the barber. He got it wrong. The part is like here, but he did the part like over here. So now there's like long strands of hair that should be going down here that I have to swoosh up there.
Hey, here's an idea. Get a new barber.
It was his idea. It was my dad's idea. No offense, Dad. Thank you for switching for it.
All right. Well, we have a guest today for our movie, and let's introduce him right now. We got our good friend Gavin here. We are watching what this week, Gavin? What are we watching?
Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2. Tobey Maguire. Ooh.
Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi. Ooh.
And
There's another Sam Raimi movie coming out soon that we're very excited for.
Absolutely hyped for it. I can't wait for that certain movie.
Yeah. That certain movie called Doctor Strange.
In the Multiverse of Madness. I always thought it was and the Multiverse of Madness, but it's in the Multiverse of Madness.
We're
inside of it.
Madness.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what we're saying?
Kind of.
he's like, you guys are just crackheads.
No, that's your cat.
Yeah.
Crackhead. You had him to go to sleep early last night?
Yeah, so we were going to keep him awake all day because he's a crackhead in the middle of the night. So we figure if we tire him out during the day, he'll sleep at night. Didn't work. He's still a bug.
Yeah, he's a nocturnal animal. What do you
Well, it's just...
He likes to hunt.
I wanted to...
He likes to move the water
He
bowl
jumps
in
on
the
my
night.
chest in the middle of the night, and I can't, breathe because he's all like...
You're going to get, sleep paralysis from your cat.
Yeah, he's going to freak me out in the middle of the night.
All right. Well, enough of this. Let's get to the movie. All right. And we are back. Spider-Man 2. What a masterpiece of a movie.
Oh, really?
Oh, no.
I happen to remember...
Oh, no.
I happen to remember...
We're starting this early. No, we're not starting this
I recall someone saying...
First thing.
Yeah, it's okay. I remember someone saying something to the effect of that.
Yeah, Sep.
It was Sep did. Yeah, I was alone. Yeah, I'm alone on this one. I think Spider-Man 2 is the best movie in the Spider-Man canon. So.
Well, let's... Okay.
You don't.
Gavin, what's your favorite Spider-Man movie? Out of all the Spider-Man movies.
Be careful.
Honestly, I might have to agree with him.
Okay.
I really like No Way Home, but I think it was mainly because of how good this movie was and the Tobey Maguire movies as a whole. It brought it all together.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I could agree with that, honestly.
Thank
All right.
you.
I personally think No Way Home is the best Spider-Man movie. I don't think Spider-Man 2 is even number 2.
Really?
Into the Spider-Verse is number 2.
See, I agree with that.
Oh, yeah. Into the
Yeah.
Spider-Verse. Oh, that's tough. Yeah. I forgot about that one.
Yeah. But, Spider-Man
But
2.
live action, though. This one definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. No. Wait.
We got him.
Got me.
All right.
All right. Let's get into some notes here about this movie. Danny, I know you have 3 pages of
Yeah, this
fucking
is
notes,
probably
so-
the record for the most notes I've taken in the movie.
Yeah.
The next one we'll get to later because we've already seen it in preparation for it.
I've seen it before.
We've seen it before, yeah. So the opening titles do a great job of recapping the first one. So, as we know, in the first one, Spider-Man becomes a Spider-Man because of Uncle Ben, and then he meets the Green Goblin and then kills the Green Goblin, and then Harry's all like, why'd you kill my dad?
That's very accurate.
It was like...
This is what happened, yes.
Yeah. And then, he also tells MJ, he's like, I can't love you because reasons. And he's all like, she's all like, fuck, what? And then, so she's just eternally confused this entire movie.
Yeah, honestly. What was the first note you wrote down, Gavin? Because I know you told us this. You're like,
I just wrote down Kirsten Dunst in big words, all caps, Kirsten Dunst. Okay, in terms of Mary Jane's for you guys, where does she stack up? Because for me, I don't know. She didn't really do it for me.
well, considering they didn't have a Mary Jane in Amazing Spider-Man.
Technically, they did. Technically, it was...
Yeah, but she didn't get fleshed out.
It was Lucy Hale.
Yeah, she didn't get fleshed out, though.
I thought they just deleted all her scenes, right?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
I remember something like that, where all of her, or it might have been Shailene Woodley, one of them, but they all their scenes were just fucking cut, which sucks.
I'm still going with
Yeah,
the Homecoming trilogy. Zendaya.
She's
I
a
think
great
so.
actress, and I give her credit. I never liked MJ as a character really. She's just kind of especially in the
Damsel
Raimi
in
trilogy.
distress.
She's just damsel in distress. So there's nothing really interesting.
Well, I was saying before we started, they literally brought her on just because she's good at screaming. Like, that's
Yeah.
the only reason that she is.
Yeah, I saw
in this
Jumanji
movie,
and just
you
like,
know?
girl's got some pipes.
She got
Yeah.
some pipes. And she also could use those pipes to sing in these
Yeah,
movies.
which she does.
I don't know if she actually sang in this movie though.
I forget if
Or
she
any
does or
movies.
not.
Whatever. Yeah. So, Mary Jane, she's.
Yeah.
That's just like.
Yeah, I feel like it was like the early 2000s like superhero movie thing where like
Yeah.
the damsel in distress can't actually be cool or like badass. They kind of just need to be saved. I feel like that was kind of a trope back then.
True. She also didn't want to come back for the third movie. Right?
Oh yeah, like
Anyone?
also I think I may be wrong about this. I'm gonna mark this. I may be wrong about this, but if I remember correctly, Kirsten Dunst screamed so much in Spider-Man 2 that in Spider-Man 3 they just reused her old screams because she
Oh.
blew out her voice.
I feel like I heard that
three.
somewhere too. Yeah. I don't know if that's true, but I did hear that possibly was a thing.
Yeah. So,
Huh.
I don't know.
Just unused screams.
Yeah,
Or
maybe
redone
remixes, you know.
Auto
we
tune.
should overdub his screams.
Please don't do that.
Yes, please.
Oh God, that's terrifying.
But one thing I want to highlight is Danny Elfman's score is underrated. Like I think he's underrated as a composer. You know, I always remember that the Family Guy bit where they did Star Wars. And
Yeah.
and there's
Oh
and
yeah,
the
like
guy
with
said
the band or whatever. And
Yeah.
they're like, great. Now we have to do it with Danny Elfman.
yeah, like it's just a joke, but like dude, he created the Batman theme song in 1989. Like everyone knows that one. And then in the Spider-Man, he created that sound too. And like there's just it has a specific sound for this entire trilogy, and he nails it, you know. So talented. And like what are the like? I only know like 3 composers. Oh, four. Ludwig, John Williams, Danny Elfman, and Hans Zimmer. Oh, Junkie XL. I know.
Wow, that is a wrench. That is a monkey wrench if I ever heard one. So, well, first of all, okay, so we're starting at the beginning of the movie. Pizza time. So,
That was our first or our tease, like the last hint for the movie. It was just like pizza time.
who the fuck has deep dish pizza in New York City? Like,
Smart people.
Okay.
He ordered 12 deep dish pizzas to that place where he swung to. Like, who the fuck? What?
Okay. Okay, yes, but also a 29-minute guarantee for like pizza delivery in New York City.
That's crazy.
That's a promise, man.
Yeah, like, but it's like it doesn't make any sense. Like,
Well, there's also that delivery system right now they have in New York City where it's grocery shopping for you in 15 minutes or less. I'm like, how the fuck is that possible? Yeah, 15 minutes or less for
there's no
groceries.
way.
No.
Like, there's like I was impressed that he was able to get the pizzas there in that amount of time, honestly.
It's crazy.
Even with superpowers. Well, even with superpowers, he's not able to do it.
Yeah.
And then, Emily Deschanel is just like a bitch. She's like, I'm not paying for those.
Yes.
Yeah. I love the bit where he gets to the
Bones.
place and there's like literally like a minute scene of him just playing with the brooms.
Oh my God. That was
Yeah.
so stretched out. It was like a Family Guy skit.
yeah.
Like, honestly.
Yeah. So I can't watch Return of the Jedi without how they nod to each other like ding, ding, ding.
Yes.
Again with the Family
yeah.
Guy thing that went on for 2 minutes. I'm just like I want to kill myself. So I can't watch that scene without being like, oh no.
Dude, that's Family Guy's whole trope
Yeah.
though. Like they drag out scenes way longer than they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Conway Twitty. Like
Conway Twitty.
It was funny the first time.
Leroy
Not 5
Jenkins.
other times after that.
Yep.
Oh man.
And then they just did it. They're like, you got anything? Okay, throw in
Run
Conway
time.
Oh my God. Elizabeth Banks. Her character is Betty Brant in at the Bugle. So I always thought that was Evangeline Lilly. Like in these movies, like they look so like close to each
Yeah,
other.
like her wasp haircut.
Her
like,
wasp haircut, yeah. Like she looks just like Elizabeth Banks in these movies. And I always thought, I'm like, oh, they recast her for the MCU as the Wasp. But no, it's not. It was
It'd be
Elizabeth
funny if
Banks.
she just like showed up,
Yeah.
like in the multiverse. Like she just like looks at herself, like, "Fuck are you?" She's like, "I work for JJJ."
Yeah, yeah. It's just, I always thought that, man. I don't know why. I just, always in my mind.
It's okay. We forgive you.
Well,
I don't forgive myself.
Speaking of the Bugle, though, J. Jonah Jameson is just iconic in all these movies.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's literally like compilations on YouTube of just him, just all his lines, and like I mean, obviously there's the one with like him laughing, and that turns into pizza time. It's like, you know, there's that like weird wheeze, and then it turns. He's like, "You're serious?" You know.
Serious.
I would always because so Sepp is like, if Sepp was here, she's obsessed with J.K. Simmons. Well, not obsessed, but like she finds him attractive, and we always make fun of her. And I would always torment her. I'd be like, "You serious?" And she'd be like, "Stop."
Yeah, because Whiplash started off with Whiplash, then it went to Spider-Man, then it went to any movie he's in.
Yeah,
basically. So La La Land. What else is he in?
I mean, he's in fucking everything.
He's
and then
little roles in everything.
It just turned into like he follows us everywhere, and like we said this on the nope, we said
this on an upcoming podcast.
An upcoming podcast.
He caught himself.
That we wanted him to be. We wanted to hire him over Cameo, and be the or to have him be the official podcast of J.K. Simmons.
It's not an upcoming podcast.
It's not.
No,
I'm so confused with these release dates.
Yeah, we were originally supposed to do a movie we're doing next week. Was supposed to be La La Land, which we did like 3 weeks ago. It was very weird. Yeah, we had a really weird release schedule because I think Sep was going to be on both of them, and she'd want to do La La Land that one night.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was.
We had a wonky release schedule.
I think you guys need a secretary or something to keep track of all this.
See, we're both combined to make one secretary, and it's like half a secretary.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I like the subtle kind of like in the scene where like it's like the first introduction scene where he's at the bugle. Peter kind of gets like a little bit of a backbone when it comes to JJ because he's like asking for more money. He's like, I'll give you 150, 300. You know, like he's like, give me 300. And then he says he sort of like is hesitant to give him any pictures. He's like, no, you made Spider-Man a menace. You know, so he's like standing up for himself. He's becoming Spider-Man we all know and love. But it's
he got no spine first of all.
In the first movie, he doesn't.
Yeah, but he barely has a spine in this movie too. Like, dude, he's a bitch.
Well, he gets humiliated like at the midpoint, I think.
Yeah,
he gets humiliated through like the entire movie. Like everyone just abuses him.
Yeah, like where's my rent?
Like the rent. Like people just like they step on his books. They like just like
Mr. Dick
walk into him.
They get smacked in the face with a backpack.
Yeah, like and at the gala or whatever, people just like take all the drinks so he can't have anything.
Yeah, dude,
and then he gets like the
Joel
empty
McHale.
glass.
Yeah.
My God. Jesus.
Oh man, yeah. Peter's life sucked, and that's the whole point of this movie, where like he has to being Spider-Man has become so hard for him to balance the two that like he literally, well, we'll see later on, he gives up on being Spider-Man, and
Spoiler
like
alert.
for a 2004 movie, literally, how long ago was that? 17 years.
Do math, Danny.
Carry the one. I don't know. 16 years? 18 years? I was close. I was 1 year off.
2022.
Don't remind me.
Peter, or somebody said this. I saw your billboard on Bleecker Street. Is Bleecker Street
like the Doctor Strange?
Doctor Strange? Isn't that where he is? He's on Bleecker Street. Yeah,
He is on Bleecker. Yeah, I
they
think
mentioned
so.
him twice in this movie. Because like Doctor Strange. Oh, the name's taken. Yeah, I'm like,
Oh,
that was 2 Doctor Strange references.
I didn't hear the Bleecker Street one. I thought that Doctor Strange was just like a callback to like the comics.
Yeah, like no, it was. It was like right before the rent scene. I forget. I think it was the first time he interacts with Mary Jane. I want to say he's like, "Oh, I saw your poster on Bleecker Street."
No,
on a
yeah,
billboard
you're
on
right. You're
Bleecker
right.
Street,
It didn't even connect for me when
Yeah.
I heard it. Honestly,
I don't know. That's just something I caught. I was like, "Oh, cool."
they had that, and they had Peter's professor was Dr. Connors.
Yes,
Like the
Dr.
Lizard
Connors. Yes, he,
yeah. Well, that's actually a point I wanted to bring up. Like, I would have loved to. Like, I don't think I've seen a superhero franchise do this yet, where they introduce like someone we know who goes on to be a villain or a big, really important character early on, where they're just a supporting character, and then they eventually turn into whoever they need to be. So, like, they almost did it with Harvey Dent in the Batman, like the first 2 Batman movies, but then Joel Schumacher took over when Two-Face was introduced. So they didn't use Billy D. Williams again. And then in this one, I would have loved to seen, forgot the guy's name. He plays the Nazi guy in Hunters.
what? I don't know. That's very obscure.
I don't know. That show sucked, by the way. But
Obscure.
I would have loved to see his interpretation, because we've seen him in 2 movies before that, so that would have been cool. But then he got recast by Rhys Ifans. So
One thing that I love about this movie, and just like a trope for like all these like early superhero movies in general is just like there is always crime at any minute of the day. There's always like a massive crime happening,
Yes.
like banks being robbed, cars flying off the road. I don't know why that always like cracked me up. Like he's like, oh, but I gotta go to Mary Jane. It's like, oh, the robbery. I gotta go stop the robbery. It's just like, why? Like, why is there no peace? Why? I don't know. It's
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, New York City has crime all the time.
but like, it's not like
at that level.
it's like always. It's always
always catastrophic.
Yeah,
Like-
it's always like yeah, like the
the-
stakes are always so high. I feel like
Yeah.
But
There's all these superhuman villains or whatever. But like that's again, these movies created the mold for that.
Well, like
So-
it was funny because like
true.
there's the scene where like where he's on his way to Mary Jane's play, I think, and like he literally like the only reason he doesn't get run over by the car is because of his spider sense. So if he was just a normal dude, he'd be fucking flattened like on the road, and like two little kids would be like watching him die.
oh yeah, they'd be traumatized.
Yeah, they'd be like, what the fuck?
I
Yeah.
think I saw a trivia fact. Don't quote me on this. That Tobey Maguire actually did that stunt himself.
Really?
But there was two scenes. There was one with the stunt double and then one with him doing it, and they decided to use the one with Toby because it looked more natural.
oh, that's cool.
Even though with his back issues, so I don't
Yeah.
know. But
Well-
that's pretty impressive.
Toby hurt his back so bad in the first one that he was
I thought it was
almost
Seabiscuit.
recap. Was it Seabiscuit? Was he in Seabiscuit?
Yeah, he was the main. He was the lead in Seabiscuit.
Oh shit.
But I don't. It was either that or
He was almost recast with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Ah.
Yeah, he was the runner-up.
Okay.
Yeah, it was weird. So they almost did that in the first one, but yeah.
I don't like that. The first time that Pete meets Doc Ock, I'm pretty sure he says something like "trying to be better." And I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh,
I never noticed that line
I
until
don't
now.
notice that either.
Yeah, like when he said it in No Way Home, like it had been a while since like I'd seen this one, so I was like, I feel like that's a callback, but I'm not really sure.
We're all grown up.
Yeah.
Stop.
My childhood.
My childhood. Oh God damn it.
Well, speaking of that, I find it kind of like even more tragic and kind of embarrassing for Doc Ock that like like he's like so focused on getting the power of the sun in the palm of my hand, and like he basically destroys his life for that. And then Tony Stark literally builds this in a cave
With a box of scraps.
with a box of scraps.
Genius. Billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
Yeah.
Genius.
Well, like it took him what 4 more years. If he just held out for 4 more years, because Iron Man was in 2008. So like, if only,
If only.
you know, he just made it look so easy.
Well, also like when, like in the scene where like the experiment's going down and like everything's starting to happen, instead of just like, oh, this is clearly not working, he's like, no, I can do it just a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And, like no fail safes kick in. No one else is there to be like, we should shut this down like right now. Everyone's
Yeah.
just like, okay, he probably knows what
Yeah,
he's doing.
He's a scientist, you know.
Made
Fucking
these-
wife
He
dies.
made these metal arms. He's smart.
Yeah.
And then it like the supernova does like a
The
hoop
sun
thing.
flare type of thing,
The sun,
yeah.
yeah, it does like and then it basically destroys the entire building.
Yes.
And you know, if we see Doc Ock's entire life just implode in like a matter of minutes, where like
Mm-hmm.
his wife dies, or he basically kills his wife, and then
pretty much.
the arms get welded to his spine.
Oh, speaking
Talk
of
about backbone.
all those needles in your back, like
Yeah,
ugh,
that
ugh.
would
Yeah,
be-
like when they show it like
like,
go in like oh I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Tensed
pretty-
up, definitely.
Yeah.
But the scene where his wife dies, I don't know why, but that always traumatized me as a kid. Like I was like, what
Why,
the fuck?
just like seeing her
Just
screaming in like
yeah,
the
like,
shard of glass.
Like, shard of glass thing. He's like, I remember
Yeah.
like, what if a shard of glass went into my eye? Ugh.
Yeah, well,
Or
it's like-
whatever, it killed her. I don't know.
it's like the imagination is way more because they don't show her dead body or anything. It's just the imagination of that
it's
is
PG-13.
way stronger. It's PG-13.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I thought it was PG.
No.
Why did my parents
All
take
these
me
are
to this when I was
PG-13.
like 6? No, the scene that traumatizes me more is the hospital scene where like they're cutting off the arms.
Yes.
Oh my god, dude.
Oh, that's
was-
Sam Raimi at his best, though.
That was a great scene. It's just like a horror movie out of
Yep.
nowhere.
Yeah, and like you know, Sam Raimi got his roots in horror
Evil
with
Dead.
Evil Dead, and yeah, and but like I liked he's also a horror comedy with Evil Dead too. So it's like he adds like the fantastical aspects to it, And the shot that always gets me is like the nurse lady being pulled by the arm, and like you see like her nails dig up the ground.
You know what they use for that?
What?
Wax.
Wax, yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Like,
Yeah.
it makes a perfect spiral too.
Well, because like when you think about it, like I'm pretty sure your nails would just like break or like
You would think.
like,
Yeah.
But no one wants to see like broken, bloody nails. That's like too much for like a
PG-13.
Yeah.
PG-13 movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, it reminds me, like, because our last episode was Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and the 2003 remake had like the cringiest scene where like the guy's he's getting carried down the stairs and he tries to grab onto the wall with his fingernails, and then you just see them pop off.
Oof.
It's like, like that scene gets me every time. It's the little things, you know.
Yeah. Anything with like your nails or like your like eyes too. Like you just see you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
Oh no. Can we also respect the end of the horror scene where he's just like, no?
Yeah.
What is that from? We couldn't think of what that was from.
Oh, I thought that was just a trope. There's like he's no. The shot that pisses me off is like the one where he does like a villain pose with the arm, like he's looking straight into the camera, and he's like he
like
like
at the
turns, he's
end.
like that, like into the camera, and like the eye, the tentacle arm opens up.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like, that's such a
It's the
weird
trailer
thing.
shot. It's the trailer shot.
Yeah,
Yeah, isn't that like right at the end too, where like he hears the police sirens and he goes,
yeah. It's just
So,
like,
yeah.
what you doing, bro?
yeah, like a jump scare or something.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know.
I did like that the arms also like picked up the chainsaw, like because they were gonna try to like you saw the guy like trying to cut through it.
Yeah.
and then they just picked it up like,
Yeah.
It's like,
just like
No.
yeah, that scene. Well, that's like probably top like 5 scenes in this movie. I got a few other ones that top it though. For example,
Okay.
I'll get to it later. But
Well, let's get to the bank scene. That's like the next big scene in the movie.
yeah.
So,
Well, we got to talk about the quiet scenes too.
what quiet scene?
I'm trying to find them.
quiet scenes. Gotta talk about the quiet scenes.
Oh, I guess you're right. It just goes right to the bank.
Thought I was the one that controls the pace of this here. All right. So the bank scene. Joel McHale.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Before he was really big.
Yeah,
and
before his
famous
fame.
in Community. So I love that.
Yeah.
Love him. Goddamn.
I always for some reason I always remember the scene where Aunt May like kicks him. And he's like, "Ow!"
Yeah. Ow.
It's like,
You
we
can't
get the
get the
free
toaster
toaster though,
either.
right?
Okay, yeah. What was with the free toast? Never mind. That was
Hey,
probably
he's
just
like-
like a joke.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Someone's like, let's put it in the movie.
Yeah,
Then-
but then Doc Ock attacks the place, and he just kind of like strangely just standing in front of the vault. You know, he's just like chilling. And then the arms
Yeah.
pop out. He's like, "What the fuck?"
He
You
doesn't
know?
see Peter there. Like, I feel like if he was walking in there, he would have seen Peter because he had already met
Yeah,
Peter.
that's a possible thing. Yeah.
I guess he wasn't looking.
He was
for
wearing
people.
sunglasses in there though, so maybe
It's
he was
true.
having trouble seeing.
It's very true. Very
Hey,
true.
wears sunglasses inside. Tommy Wiseau.
Oh yeah.
He wore. Wait, small tangent. He was watching The Disaster Artist with James Franco, and he's like, "I like movie. It's just little dim." And like, and then James Franco was just like, "Tommy, take off your sunglasses." He's in the middle of a dark theater watching this.
It's a great scene. You know, get bags of money, like total bags of coins.
Bags of gold coins with like the dollar sign on the side.
What is this? A pirate ship bank? Like, what the fuck is this?
I was thinking that the whole time. I was like, why are there just gold coins? Why are there doubloons like lying around the bank? Like,
yeah, like it was cool and all. Like, great visual effects in this whole movie. Honestly, it won best visual effects for a movie.
Okay.
Yep,
I mean, they look a little dated to me, but
it's 2004.
but for
Yeah.
the time though, I mean,
yeah. I mean, what the Matrix was the only one that could really compete with that, and like, they have Rubber Man all over the place.
right.
I also thought we mentioned this, but the sound mixing and editing was also really well done in this movie. It was
Yeah.
also nominated for both of those as well.
Yeah, I think that one should have won over visual effects because like there's like multiple scenes where like especially one where like Doc Ock and Spider-Man are falling from the building and they're like punching each other and it's like you just hear the wind kind of rustling and then you hear like a punch and then it's really good.
Yeah, he's poor Aunt May's just like fighting for her life up on this statue, and she's like, ah.
Dude, she would for sure have a heart attack. There's
Like,
no fucking way.
No way, man. Like, jeez. And then shame on you.
Yeah.
Bam.
Oh yeah, I like I like
Badass
that.
anime.
I like that in this movie, the damsels in distress per se fight back. They help Spider-Man. So Aunt May smacks Doc Ock in the face with her cane, and then I know Mary Jane does something later on.
She tries to do something later on.
Yeah, and then she gets
Doesn't
like
really
slapped
work.
out of the way.
Yeah.
But then she tried,
Might also just be a callback, like, haha, you won't get me this time. Learning from my mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Yeah. I did like, even though it does look very dated, I did actually like the fight of them like falling down the side of the building, because I feel like in the first one, like when he's fighting like Green Goblin, they're not really like fighting on like they're not like crawling up the sides of buildings or anything. Which Spider-Man is like that's one of his main powers.
Yeah.
So I think it was cool to see like, oh, it's a villain that like kind of mimics that or like can do the same thing that he can do in a sense.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
like the best villains can always match the hero or be better than the hero in a specific aspect. That's why I don't like the MCU sometimes when they just do the hero but evil. Like Ironmonger.
First Iron Man movie.
Yeah. What's his name? Abomination. He's just evil Hulk. Loki's just he turned into a different character, but he's basically has the powers of Thor.
Yeah.
So
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. I also noticed how there's a lot of parallels to the first movie in this movie. Running into a burning building, like in the first one, when he's Spider-Man, he tries to rescue Green Goblin in the burning building.
Oh, right, yeah.
There's also the Uncle Ben moment in the car. They brought him back for that. So it's a different conversation, but it's still like the same type of thing. Mm-hmm. Then there's also Peter climbing the alley wall again, like he was first time climbing the wall, getting his powers back. And then jumping the building like he did as well and still hitting the fucking wall.
Yeah, that's always fun to watch.
Back.
Can I just say, like, he must have had some sort of spider powers at that point, because anyone else would just be like dead on the ground.
Yeah.
He's just really good shape because like that got him in really good shape too. So like he still could do a lot of it, but maybe not.
Yeah, but like you're falling down, you grab a clothesline, like that's only going to slow you down so much, and then you just slam into cars. Like
Sometimes I roll my ankle stepping up from the bottom step to the floor. Like what I mean?
Same, dude. Same.
Yeah, he would for sure be dead.
yeah, absolutely. Like when I saw that again, I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, how is he still alive?"
Yeah. There was I saw in a cartoon. Actually, in the Batman too. Catwoman just kind of jumps from like the second story building onto the ground. Yeah. I'm like, that's so unrealistic. She's doing it in heels too.
She has the power of a cat, though.
Yeah, she's real nimble and stuff.
They always land on their feet.
Got to stick true to the comic book.
The lore. Anyway, back to what you said about the Uncle Ben scene.
Yes, the Uncle Ben scene.
What did you think about that? Because I'm kind of mixed on it.
You're mixed on it.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked that they brought him back. Like they brought Goblin back at the end of the movie as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I think I have a note on it somewhere in here. Oh, it was unexpected. It was nice. It was a nice scene, kind of like a decompressing scene of just Peter trying to come to terms with being a normal person. It's like, I'm Spider-Man no more type of thing. Mm-hmm. It's kind of just a reversal of how he got his powers. It's
right.
Kind of like it's a different kind of scene.
I just feel like I wish they had brought Uncle Ben back like sooner almost. Because like when he's saying like, I have a choice, it's kind of him saying like, this is the first time he's even thought like, oh, I have a choice to do this, because he's been so fixated on, with great power comes great responsibility. I have to do this. I don't have a choice. Whereas now he's sort of like, oh, like I can choose what I do. I don't have to do this. I kind of just wish they like explored that more. We're like, oh, he's so torn up about Uncle Ben's death. Like he's so consumed by like the guilt. He's like, oh, I have a responsibility to keep doing this. Whereas now he's like, oh yeah, like, no, I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, like it's the whole like, if you do something noble, do you ever get to rest? Like, do you ever get to do anything for yourself? And that's kind of like the balance of like the whole thing here. Like, like we never really think of heroes sacrificing or like taking one for themselves. And they like Captain America does that in Endgame, where he wants to go back in time. Like I did one for the entire universe, one for me.
Right.
And I love that scene because it's such a contrast to the actual like the scene that it's calling back to in the first one, where he's just like like, I hate you, Uncle Ben. You know, we're not on. You know, like, you don't understand me. It's not a phase, Mom.
You don't get it.
Yeah, so he's all like, you know, fuck you. And then that scene has such a, specifically for Peter, has such an emotional attachment. He's like, that's the last thing I said to my Uncle Ben. And then he's dead in the next scene. And to have him basically be like, basically say the opposite of that scene in the new scene, like, it shows how far Peter's come as a character. And it reminds me of one time I went to free comic book day. One time at band camp. In this flute, got a little frisky. But I went to got a free comic book on a free comic book day. And it was Spider-Man issue number 1. It was like probably from like the 90s somewhere, the new run. And I remember the guy who wrote it was there, and he signed it for me. And he said, turn to page whatever, 4 or whatever. I do a scene with Uncle Ben and Peter. And I love it so much because it explains their relationship. At that moment, it's like the purest sense of like where they are as two characters, and I didn't get it because I was just a kid. I'm like, there's no action in this happening, and I'm like, this is fucking stupid. But now I understand it more because it's like, oh, like that's the whole thing right there. That's like the entire Spider-Man guilt like dichotomy thing, you know?
Right, because I feel like that was what motivated him at first, was like guilt. Like first he was like angry, then he was like guilty because he's like, oh, I killed this guy, like I had a responsibility to be better to Uncle Ben, and now he's sort of like, well, I have a responsibility to myself too, or I don't have to keep doing this.
I can have a life outside this.
Yeah, I just wish that like they kind of tried to reincorporate, like maybe he tried to go do something else or go see Mary Jane or something, and then like Uncle Ben, like I don't know, he heard his voice or something, kind of like drive home the point, like he doesn't feel like he has a choice, and then in this scene he's like, no, wait a minute.
Kind of like the Han Solo scene in Rise of Skywalker. Kind of like that.
Yeah, a little bit.
In a way.
Yeah.
I do like that they're in the car, though. I will say that is like a nice callback.
It is. It very much is.
Well, so that basically leads to Peter throwing away the Spider-Man costume and just being, I'm done with being Spider-Man. And like I skipped over the scene where the doctor kind of really sends that message home, which is like, maybe you don't have to be Spider-Man. He's kind of saying the theme outright. Of that kind of cute scene, which is like, in my dream, I'm Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, in my friend's dream.
My friend's dream.
My friend, of course.
Yeah, the doctor's just
no,
like,
it's
this
a friend
guy is
of a
fucking
friend.
bullshitting me.
I like how the doctor just like is in like a lab coat and then like a tie-dye shirt underneath.
Yeah, that was. What kind of doctor are you going to there, Pete?
And also, he's a physician. He's not like a psychiatrist. So he's giving him like life advice. But it's like, I'll just give you like a physical, like I'll check you up and everything.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Here's this like, you know, like,
Yeah.
you know.
He seems like he's been on a few spiritual journeys. I think he knows what he's talking
Well, he's
about.
wearing the tie-dye shirt, so yeah, there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is like the classic Raimi trope. He has this thing where he zooms into the eyes.
Yeah.
And it's definitely I noticed it a lot in this film. Like, especially with, you know, the main characters, like Mary Jane, Peter.
Like the conversation will pause and then they'll kind of like zoom in.
There's a slow zoom in. Like, it doesn't go all the way in, but like it goes very close to the eyes. And then there's also that in the trailer for Doctor Strange. Like, you can see it with Wanda. It goes into her eyes and everything. It's like, it's a Raimi trademark. Okay.
Yeah, well, the movie literally opens up on the billboard of Mary Jane, a close-up on her eyes. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what it means. Probably just because like the eyes are the windows to the soul or something like that.
I think so. It's got to be. But I like it. It's just a nice callback that he's consistent with it.
The only other guy that I know that does that, or it came up a lot in Lost. Like, you know, like the first shot is just like open up on Jack's eye. Yeah. And then there's so many shots where it's like, boom, oh my God, revelations. I hate that show so much.
No, you love that show.
I loved the first 4 seasons.
I've only seen
That happens a lot with shows. I like the first 4 seasons and then just drops off.
except for How I Met Your Mother. 5 and 6. 5 and 6 are good seasons.
5 and 6 are good seasons. 7's lackluster. 8 is bad. 9 is horrible.
Him wrong. Doesn't even matter. All right. What else you got, Gavin? You got anything?
I've never seen Lost, so
No. We're not talking about Lost here. Evangeline Lilly.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, you know, raindrops keep falling on my head.
Raindrops keep falling on my head.
I love how they tried to show him being like a normal person, but it was just him like
He's just
like
so
just
awkward.
falling over himself. Like,
Just
Yeah.
like Spider-Man 3, but the happier version of it
Yeah.
and less emo version.
less emo and like literally like he tumbles and he's like his arms are like flailing over like
I love how he struts. He's like
Yeah.
moves his shoulders way too much, And then my favorite part of the whole montage is like when he's like eating the hot dog, and he just like watches the police go by, and then like out of nowhere he just shoves the fucking hot dog in his mouth.
that's too bad and just keeps eating.
Sucks.
But it's like violently, like he just does it,
Well,
Is
you
it
never
part of the-
violently
is
shoved
it-
a hot dog in your mouth?
No, I never have. Can't say I have.
I've never lived. Wait, is it part of the same scene? Is it like this part of the same scene where like he just walks by an alleyway and someone's getting mugged?
Yeah.
Help! Help! And he's just like,
It's a
"Oh."
busy
It's
street
like-
too. There's so many people walking by.
Yeah, there was like so many groups of people. Like two people walked by, ran past him, and just like help, help, and then suddenly he's the only one like just looking around.
That's like the not so subtle way of like him being like, oh, maybe like I'm being irresponsible, but because I do have this. I'm having a mental crisis right now, but I still have power. You know, I'm not doing anything about it. You know. Oh, we skipped over the I guess honestly, in my opinion, probably the most important scene.
Yeah.
The whole party scene. You know, he's getting all the hors d'oeuvres. So like,
Oh, yeah.
all these peppered like little like inconveniences for Peter are peppered through, and you got like 3 of them back to back with the hors d'oeuvres. But he just can't get a fucking hors d'oeuvre.
How do you spell hors d'oeuvre, Danny?
I tried. Here's how I spelled. Here's how I spelled hors d'oeuvre. Fuck, where is it? I spelled it like HORSDEURVE. I know how. That's how you spell the or part.
It's close enough.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Anyway, keep
But
going.
you know, so there's those little moments peppered in, and then you get the 2 big moments where Harry's like getting drunk off his ass, and he's like, "You killed my," or like you take pictures of Spider-Man. You know, you let him kill my father. Where is he?
Where's the bug?
Where's the arachnid? But he basically humiliates Peter. He slaps him in the face, you know, like in front of like the elite of New York at the time. And
Can I just say, Peter does nothing. Wow. Okay. Sorry. Jeez. Peter does nothing to try and save his friendship with Harry, like the entire movie.
yeah, he's just like, not now.
When he's like, if you knew who he was, you'd tell me, right? He just kind of like looks around, like avoids eye contact. It's like, what are you doing? Just make something up or tell him like, hey, no, I'm not gonna be a part of this. Like, do something.
Yeah.
Even in like the scene where he's getting drunk, it's the same thing where like he slaps him and he just like lets him leave.
He's
It's just like,
I can't believe you did that.
yeah, he
I
doesn't,
can't
like-
believe you've done this.
Yeah, he doesn't like go after him or anything. He just kind of like gets slapped and he's like, oh, that sucks. Guess we're not
like-
friends.
yeah,
anymore.
just-
Oh, jeez. I got my own things going on. See you later, buddy.
And right after that, it's such a great scene where like John Jameson says, "Hey, I just want to announce that Mary Jane agreed to marry me." You know, like meanwhile,
yeah.
him and MJ's relationship's on the rocks. Like there's so much like character work there where like they're on the rocks, and having to watch the woman he loves be like, you know, go up there and he has to take pictures of her and stuff. Like you just feel so bad for the guy. Yeah, and JJ's
like,
yelling at him.
Go take the picture. It's just like, oh, God, that sucks.
Yeah. Oh man, I would be because you're humiliated in 1 second, and then you're humiliated privately even more. You know?
Yeah. There's a few scenes I want to mention that involve Aunt May in this movie, and
Yeah.
like the one where Peter tells her about Uncle Ben and the night that he died. Like he comes clean about what happened for the most part. He tried to get some money. He got Uncle Ben murdered, and like that scene was so powerful. I loved that scene.
Yeah.
It's just nothing was said. She didn't say anything. She just walked upstairs, slammed the door.
Well, yeah,
It
because
was
it's
like,
like,
oh, it was such a gut punch, man.
and it's even harder because Peter at that moment he's feeling guilty for like not being able to do anything, and I think in his mind he wants to make up for it by, you know, cleansing his conscience of and telling Aunt May that to kind of better the fact that he's kind of choosing himself now, and it doesn't help, you know. So it's like he's kicked even more. He's kicked, you know. It's like this movie beats the shit out of Peter.
Yeah, it's merciless to him. Like,
But then on the flip side, another scene is when she's selling all her stuff in the yard, and there's that kid helping her. That kid totally should have been Miles Morales if he was invented at that point. That would have been so cool.
Yeah, that would have.
Because like he
he a
wants to
thing?
be you when he wants to be Spider-Man. He never gets who he wants to be.
Was he a thing at that point? No.
Nah.
2011.
2011.
Yep.
Yeah.
But like that would have been a perfect point to introduce Miles Morales. Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, I was looking into I was wondering like was that kid ever like mentioned like did Spider-Man ever have like a kid that like looked up to him in the comics or whatever? Could they have made that connection? Because I don't recognize the kid's name. Oh, all right. So the burning house scene, another perfect pitch perfect scene that literally describes Peter's morality. So he's kind of being like on paper selfish, but like we connect with him emotionally. We're like, oh, we feel for you and everything. But so he wants to make up for that. He sees a burning building. He's like, I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna save whoever's up there, and he saves a little girl. And he has no powers at that point, and it just speaks to Peter's character, and extra points for the little girl for trying to like help him up when he's dangling. We're just like, because he inspired her to do that,
grabbing his fingers and probably making it worse for him.
Yeah,
She's
probably.
trying,
She's just trying. I get it, but but yeah, I just like that scene. But then the point of the scene is that once he gets the kid out of there, the firefighter's like, you're one brave kid, and then the other guy's just like, there's one poor soul that got lost on the fourth floor. So he realizes that like he's not doing enough. Even though he tried as best he can without being Spider-Man, he's still not doing enough. So, he's coming to another crossroads where he's got to go back.
All right, so I guess this is a good time to go to when he gets his powers back. That one scene at the coffee shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in the background, you have Doc Ock building the machine, and then you have that scene with Harry where you're just like, I need the tritium. Yeah, give me the trigger.
Precious tritium.
Oh, did we skip over that once? Before we get to this, let's get to the scene we would cut from this movie.
Oh, yeah. I have one very standout scene that I have no idea why it's in this movie.
Let's not start with us. Let's
Okay.
start with Gavin. Is
Gavin
there a scene
first.
you would cut from this movie?
A scene that I would cut?
Yeah, like something you just don't think this movie needs. I want to see if you're on the same page as we are.
There's nothing that really stands out like all that much that like immediately jumps off the page.
Okay.
Like maybe if I thought about it a little bit more, I could like
Sure.
pick and choose, but
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
What about you guys? You seem like you have.
You go ahead.
Like
Hey, we have the same answer.
I would
So.
absolutely cut out the completely awkward and like just terrible scene of Peter and the Dickovich's daughter eating the chocolate cake.
Oh my god!
It's
yes.
so bad, right?
Oh my god!
It's like it's
I
so
completely forgot
unneeded.
that, Yes.
Like, why is that there?
She's like, "Hey, Pete, I think you're cute. Want a chocolate cake?
Want some cake? And some milk?
Milk?" But it's so drawn out because she brings him the chocolate cake first. He tries. He's like, "It's good. I'll cut some milk." There's an extended scene where we're getting milk.
Like, why?
Well, it is nice to see someone being nice to Peter in this movie.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
give it like just let him have one thing, please. Like,
He's just like, "Why can't I just take a break from being Spider-Man and eat some chocolate cake?"
I would love it if it was just if like the cake just like fell on the floor, like she
like-
tripped and just like threw it on him.
Oops, sorry, Pete.
It's just like,
Oh man, that would
just
be
like,
so bad.
"Oh, it's okay. Can I at least have the milk? Oh, the milk's expired.
We're out
Oh,
of classes.
Okay, we're out of
Okay.
Yeah, no, I get where you're coming from. It is, I think that was nice to see, like, someone kind of, like, sympathizing and, like, trying to help him. But, like, yeah, that went on for a little too long.
Yeah.
Rent?
I guess now that you say that,
Give me rent.
Rent?
it makes more sense because not even Aunt May is on his side at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, he needs some sort of support. So, interesting. So I guess that's the reason for it. But like,
That's a
damn, did
good
it have to
reason.
be so fucking long?
it was pretty drawn out.
It was only probably like a minute, but like still, it was so long.
It's
It's
just really awkward. Like I don't like that character because she's even awkward. Because then he's treating her like a dick in the third one. He's like,
Yeah.
she's giving him cookies and he's like,
Emo Pete.
thanks, and like swoops his hair.
Can you make me some more cookies with nuts this time? Yeah, thanks.
He's like, oh, okay, Pete.
All right, setting the scene. Peter gets his powers back. We have Mary Jane and Pete in a coffee shop. They're just talking it out. Do you love me?
He's like, yes, but I jumped the gun.
Yes, but there's something else I need to say too.
And then zoom into the eye. Spider sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the noise they use for the spider sense.
Yes, I do too.
That's
It's
like
so
the best
good.
one. Yeah.
It's like,
So
yeah, it's like a clang kind of thing.
And then the spiral, they're just jumping in a spiral.
Yeah.
It's like really cool. It's like, that was the trailer shot, I think.
Yeah.
Or it was one of the trailer shots. Oh, so good.
So I got a couple things. At this point, if I was Mary Jane, I would say, fuck you, Peter. Make up your fucking mind. And I would just leave the coffee shop. If I was her. She has loyalty, you know? But then, like, my other thing is, like, what's Doc Ock's plan? Like, because he doesn't know Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Yeah, no,
So
he
his
doesn't.
idea is to throw a car at him?
Yep. Scare him.
Yeah.
Scare the piss out of him.
A fucking car?
And then he bashes him into a wall,
they
too.
both would have been dead if like he hadn't gotten his powers
so
back. Like,
Then he hits him into a brick wall, though, too. Like, with his tentacle. It's like, boom.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I might have killed him. Oops.
Internal organs are a thing, man. Like, they can rupture.
yeah. Meet me on this building at this time. Where is he? Oh, he died on impact. Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah.
I don't know my own strength.
And then we get to the train scene.
Yeah, the
Oh,
train
yeah,
scene.
Train scene.
My favorite scene in the movie.
So good. Like,
It's
It's-
everywhere.
it's got that New York attitude to it too. Like at the very end of the scene, like it's like, hey, gotta get to him. You gotta go through us type of mentality.
Yeah.
It's very New York, very post 9/11 New York.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to mention because, like, you mess with one of us, you mess with all of
Yeah.
us. You know, like, that's definitely the thing, you know. So I like how, like, the city is portrayed as, well, kind of awful, but the regular people are good.
Yes.
You know, but in Batman, you know, everyone sucks. Everyone's just depressed. Like, they're on the verge of suicide.
Yeah. Everyone's about to become a criminal.
Yeah. It's like, there's too much crime. What am I doing wrong? Well, I don't know. Maybe beating the shit out of them and saying, be like, I'm vengeance and inspiring. That's the whole point of the movie. But
But yeah, let's gush about the train scene now. The actual fight scene. It was the first scene shot for the movie, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was. I think it was the first scene shot for this movie.
remember something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, or one of the first, maybe the first big scene shot for the movie.
Yeah.
And it's just
It's great.
so cool. Like, there's not much else you can really describe. It's like it's a classic superhero versus villain fight scene just on a train. Yeah,
It's great. Just like,
So imagine if we had this awesome fight scene
on a train.
on a train.
imagine
And guess
if they're
what?
fighting
The
on
train
outside.
runs out of tracks. Oh my god.
Yeah, but it's kind of like I guess the important part of the scene is I mean after they fight and Doc, you know, plays on Spider-Man's
Doc!
morality. Doc, you're telling me you built a time machine out of a
I
DeLorean?
heard when you said Doc. I was like, Doc.
You telling me built a time machine out of a train?
Well, he did.
Yeah, I know.
He literally did.
Oh my god.
Probably saw Spider-Man too.
Yeah, just like he saw into the future. Marty, I have an idea.
Okay, enough of that. Enough of this. All right.
All right, we're going off the rails.
Get out.
So he plays on his morality and breaks the train, and he says like, you got a train to catch, and throws him like the handle, and you know, so he wastes all of his energy trying to save these people who, you know, he doesn't, you know, they don't at this point, they haven't done anything for him, you know, he just does it because he's Peter.
They're literally antagonizing him. Actually, like not only have they done nothing for him, they're really like, oh, got any more bright ideas? Like they're just
Oh yeah.
dicks for no reason.
He's like, a couple.
He gets that trope of Spider-Man holding two things together. He started that whole thing.
Yeah.
Like they did it in Homecoming with the Staten Island ferry. They did
Yeah.
it in Far From Home with something, I think, right? I
I don't know, I forgot.
feel like they did it in Far From Home as well.
Yeah, but the whole thing is you see Peter. This is like his biggest like physical trial, and he succeeds obviously. But then you get the heartwarming scene where the people thank him in a way because they save him from falling over.
Just a kid.
And there's like a whole thing. Yeah, he's like, he's just no older than my son, you know. And so they see him, and like I like that like
You know, Toby's like 30.
he's supposed to be like what, like 18 in this.
Yeah. Jesus.
But they, you know,
Older than my son. When is he moving out?
but he's unmasked, and you so they see, like they see him and they feel bad for him and stuff. And, he's freaking out. He's like, oh no, they're seeing me. And like, if the little kid says, we won't tell nobody, he says it really weird. But if phones existed in 2004, this would not be happening.
Oh yeah.
It's like, we won't tell nobody. Clicks the phone.
If social media existed.
Yeah, like there's no fucking way like that they could do this nowadays,
Well, they wouldn't have the hands to like grab him before he falls. They'd just be going like this the whole time. They'd be like, oh shit, there he goes.
Final scene, pretty much. Oh no, Ock captures him, brings him to Harry. Harry finds out, oh, it's Peter. Shocker. And Pete, he's just in shock. He's in shock.
It's not true.
He's not true.
Very dramatic.
Yeah, like, okay, whatever. It's like,
and the same thing. He does nothing. He's like, Harry, you can wait. I need to go save Mary.
Yeah,
Jane."
he's still an asshole.
oh my god.
Yeah. I could explain what happened to your father, and we could be friends again easily. But fuck you. I got to go do this thing.
See, that's what makes Doc Ock such a complex character. Like, he's got like this. He was such a good guy, such a family man, and then his whole life is destroyed.
Yeah.
But he's a better actor than James Franco in this.
Yeah.
Although James Franco doesn't get much development in this movie, though. Like, he doesn't get time for.
He's just
development.
mad.
Yeah,
he's an asshole billionaire, and then he's sad. And,
It's like,
you know what I mean?
I just love Alfred Molina's portrayal of Doc Ock.
Yeah.
He did such a great job. He did such a great job in No Way Home, too, even after
Yeah.
17 years. So the final battle. Let's start there. Mary Jane tied up to like a
Some
beam
chains.
and some chains and a beam, and
Beam.
like
What?
oh Mary Jane's tied. She's
There's
tied
a
up-
beam.
she's
Oh yeah,
tied
there's
up.
a beam. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, she's tied up to a beam. Yeah.
Like, there's a beam. What the- I thought you said bean first. I'm just like, there's no like baked beans. Like
What?
Mary
What?
Jane's eating beans and Peter.
Doc's building his machine.
But yeah, so power of the sun, palm of sand, yada yada yada. It backfires again.
I mean, Doc's an idiot though. He's just like, okay, so that thing failed. What can I do to make it different? Oh, the same thing but bigger.
Oh, good. Now it's self-sustaining.
It's
And then he gets hit in the head enough, I guess, and he's just like, "Oh shit, I didn't mean to do this. I gotta fix it. I gotta
Yeah.
get down with it in the river." Yeah.
yeah, like he has like I don't completely buy his character arc, which kind of flipping on a dime like that. He's like for a moment the arms aren't talking to him in his head. Maybe that's it.
And then he's like, "I
think it's
gotta
more
control
like-
it."
I think it's more like he is like, oh, I need to control this because it's so dangerous.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
he remembers. He's like, you told me, Otto, that this needs to be used for the good of mankind.
He's like a privilege.
Yeah, it's a privilege. He's like, oh yeah, you're right. And then he just kind of like remembers. I
Yeah.
did say that.
Brilliant but lazy. I just know the quote. Peter Parker. Yeah.
Jesus.
But yeah, so he reveals him that he's Peter, and like, and so we have like a kind of like we have a really cool scene where MJ sees Peter like unmasked, and she's like, and it's like really like drawn out like shots and like
Like, no,
dramatic,
yeah.
and then it goes to like his dirt face when the buildings the wall starts breaking.
Oh my god! Like, I forgot that that's where that was in the movie. It
Yep.
caught me off guard.
Yeah.
It's like-
It's like the meme.
It's just like the cutesy like love music like like zooming in on Mary Jane. Just,
But yeah, so Ock drowns in the river. You know the story.
is that avoidable? Like, could he have just not drowned?
I think he just could have broken all the legs on the thing and had it. He didn't have to die.
Well,
Or
maybe,
could he
but
not
like
swim
Or did he
with,
have to like
the-
contain it with the
tentacles?
arms?
No, they're too heavy, I think.
Well, what if he like spun him around like propellers?
I don't know if he can do that. I don't know if he thought of
If
this.
lightsabers can do that,
Well,
arms
I
can
can
do
think
that.
of it. He made a portable sun, Dan. He can think of that.
This is 2004, my guys. Jesus.
I don't know, man. I just remember he was dying, and I was like, could he have done something? Like, I don't know.
So then we get the setup for the next movie. James Franco, Harry sees the goat in the mirror. Yes. And he sees
Oh,
the goat. goat. Come on.
I thought you literally meant a goat.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what?
I'm just like a
He's
bat,
the
like a goat.
The goat.
Yeah, like
was like,
the
wait.
Spider-Man goat.
I was like, wait, was he hallucinating the whole time? Was that before he saw the Green Goblin? Or
Willem Dafoe.
okay,
He's in the mirror. Great.
Yeah.
Love it. Perfect.
I don't quite understand
How that works.
how that works. You say he has like the goblin genes, but I thought it came out of the gas.
See, yeah, there is that, but like maybe he's just as psychotic as his father. So I don't know.
I mean, maybe, but I don't know.
It's unexplained, but it's like whatever. It's comic.
They do that in the '90s cartoon too. Like
Oh.
after Norman is dead, he like talks to him in like a helium tank. Like he sees like visions of him through mirrors and like a helium.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
I don't know. It's just the Spider-Man trope, I guess.
Well, at least they're keeping it like
Keep it
continuous.
100.
Oh, wait. I wanted to bring that up actually. So when he goes into like the side room where all like the Green Goblin stuff is, there's just a glider and an untouched Green Goblin mask. Like, how did he get those? Like, did he
I think
go
they were
back?
extras. Like he had 2 gliders or something. He had like a prototype glider, and that's what Harry maybe worked on.
Okay, I guess.
This is where I say because plot.
yeah, no.
Yeah, honestly, that's pretty much the only
just,
route
like-
you had to go.
Walls and walls of like the pumpkin grenades or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That actually did look cool.
And then the final scene, you know, she's getting married.
Oh god.
Whoa. I hate the whole runaway bride.
I hate
trope.
that
I
too.
hate it so much.
The way it's shot too. I know it's like it's supposed to be that way. Like Sam Raimi's in on the joke, but it's like
If I was going to
it doesn't
cut-
look good to me.
if I didn't cut the cake scene, I would have cut her just running to Peter. Just end it with like him being left at the altar, then cut to Pete's apartment. Just do that.
Yeah, that would've been cool.
You don't need her running.
Yeah.
You don't need it. Just cut it.
Yeah. I do like how they end, or like the ending line though.
Yeah.
Go get him, Tiger. Such a classic line, And I'm thinking, why is he a tiger? He's wearing like he's not even related to a tiger. He's wearing red, white, and blue.
Go get him, Spider.
Yeah, that'd be better, right? It's whatever, man.
It is whatever.
And then you can't end a Spider-Man movie without having an iconic like web swinging scene in
Of
New York
course,
City.
any Spider-Man movie, you gotta have an iconic, just 2-minute, 3-minute, just him swinging across the city
With the police too.
with the police,
To show
the
that.
helicopters, just like the opening of the Spider-Man game on PS4. Just pretty much, like I don't know, they kind of like copied that, I think, and it kind of worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, well, yeah, like so that's what I kind of want to, I guess. I know this is the movie. This movie was the first franchise of Spider-Man, so I can't really discount it too much. But I can discount the newer movies for not really. I mean, maybe we might get that with the new Tom Holland movies because of where No Way Home ends. But I would love to see like a live action like Spider-Man the game where Spider-Man's established, he's fought in all these villains, he's in college or well he's an adult basically.
That's the game.
Oh
Yeah,
already.
I would love to see like where he has a history. Like this is in this franchise, he just meets the villains for the first time. I'd like to see them break out or something and like have an established
Vulture
past
bringing
between
it back
them.
or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Cool.
PlayStation 1 game.
I
Don't
mean,
know if anyone's played that, but
No, I haven't.
yeah, it would
so
be.
good. So good that it's got like all like
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
a whole like roster of villains like
Yeah,
Scorpion,
yeah. Yep.
Mysterio,
Yeah, see that's
Doc
the,
Ock, Carnage.
yeah.
Venom is in it too. Like, it's so good. That would be cool to see get made into a movie.
Yeah, like in like the I played the Shattered Dimensions one, where they're that was like 2011 or something like that.
Okay.
But that one where they have 4 different Spider-Men. There's that Spider-Man Noir, Spider-Man 2099, the black suit, and the regular suit. And I just like that aspect because they have different versions of the villains. Like Hammerhead is in the noir one. In the also a noir villain. He's Green Goblin. He's literally like a goblin. They do that in Into the Spider-Verse too, where like he's an
yeah,
actual
yeah.
goblin.
Right.
So I'd like to see like his rogues gallery be already established, but so maybe we'll get that later on. Maybe we'll see like a time jump in where Miles Morales can be introduced in the MCU and stuff like that. So that'd be cool.
Yeah, I like that.
The ideas are endless. It's kind of like the way that Batman, the franchises have never been ballsy enough to do a Robin. other than like a good Robin, other than Chris O'Donnell.
Yeah.
Or like have a Nightwing, have like the Bat family. They have fucking, just it's a whole other part of the entire comic books, and they haven't done it yet. So it's like you could do so much if you
Feels
just
like it could be tough to do it right though. Like
Yeah.
it's very easy to like mess up, I feel.
Tim Drake is literally like 11. So like if they had to hire an 11-year-old and have him act like a superhero, so like that'd be hard. What?
My
Yes.
theory from the Batman, that the mayor's kid could be Robin.
Oh, that'd be cool.
But it wouldn't be Tim Drake, obviously, because the mayor's last name isn't Drake. But I do think they had some kind of connection there. Like, they definitely could totally pull that off.
Yeah. And just like how like if this movie came out in like 2013 or whatever, that or I think his name's Kenny. The little
Kenny
kid.
G?
Kenny. He just has a saxophone. He's like, "Hey Pete."
Anyway, Kenny. Yes.
He that would definitely be Miles Morales. He would definitely go on to be Spider-Man,
Yeah.
And I would love to see them swinging together in live action, like just like how like Homecoming gave us that shot of Spider-Man swinging with Iron Man,
Man, yeah.
and if it wasn't in the movie,
Yeah.
but I would love to see that on screen.
True.
That'd be great.
Anybody have any last minute things they want to bring up here?
I kind of want to just break down the whole movie, where it's just like, this movie has I think the best arc for Peter, in any Spider-Man movie, because you see him like the most, like, this is cliche, but the most potent like character drama is when you're fighting with yourself, and that's this movie to a T. He's fighting with his decision to live up to his original like version of himself, his image, with what he actually wants, and he struggles with that, and then he comes to terms where he chooses to not. I guess in the end, he chooses not to bitch about it.
That's true. They definitely do that in this movie for sure. They do it the best out of all the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah,
Homecoming kind of does that. Kind of.
Kind of, but not really.
Yeah, like
he misses a date. He misses the homecoming
Yeah,
dance.
but
and-
that's more like learning like the responsibility aspect of it instead of like trying to balance. It's like kind of balancing his life where like he has to like say no, I can't do this. I have to do this.
yeah,
But
I think in No Way Home he has a really good arc too, though. Like he just keeps getting battered and beaten down, until eventually he's like, "Fuck it, I'm not gonna be Spider-Man. Just make it so everybody forgets Peter Parker or whatever."
Yeah.
So it's like it's kind of a soft reboot, but like the way it's portrayed in the movie, it just does its job, and like the arc is fucking fantastic in that movie for Peter Parker.
yeah.
So-
well, the cool thing about the Homecoming trilogy is that you see different aspects of what we know Spider-Man to be and how he discovers that.
Yes.
So like the first one's responsibility, like you said. Second one, it's a little more muddier.
It's kind of learning without your mentor, I guess, in a way, because Iron
Yeah.
Man's dead and everything, and like he
Yeah,
has to
he's
do it
like
on his own.
He's becoming a little more mature, and then 3 really brings it home with like he puts the man in Spider-Man. Like he has to be an adult, like
He has to
that's Spider-Man.
grow up. Yeah,
Yeah, he's grow up. Yeah,
fast.
that's the whole thing. Yeah, so that's what I like about this movie though, is it kind of does all of it at once. Where like he shoulders the burden that is Spider-Man, and he's
Yeah.
like, I'm fine with this. I'm choosing to do this. 'Cause at first he didn't think it was his choice. He just kind of did it.
Good point.
So
Yeah,
I think it's interesting to talk about No Way Home again. I think it's interesting that they had like the Uncle Ben death. It's Aunt May technically, but like they had that in like the last movie, even though that always seems to happen like right off the rip, where like he's dealing with the loss of Uncle Ben and he has to get over it and blah blah blah, and he's like angry about it, which is like why he goes after the guy who shot him in the first one.
yeah,
And then in No Way Home, he's like still pissed about it, and he almost like kills Green Goblin.
well, he does that because he lost everyone, but then Toby comes in and he's like, "Can't do that, man.
Right.
You
And
gotta
that's
grow up.
what's- right.
You
What
gotta
makes
grow
it
up."
because this if
Yeah.
we didn't have
learned
like you were
that.
I think you were saying before the podcast, if we didn't have Spider-Man 2, No Way Home wouldn't make any wouldn't hold a candle to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Cuz we know Peter, like Toby's Peter he grows up in that trilogy.
Peter too.
Yeah, Peter too. He
Peter Tingle.
Peter Dingle. I love that they include that, but we see Peter be an adult, and that's the point why I like Toby the best, because I've mentioned this in the Spider-Man No Way Home podcast that Toby's Peter did everything on his own. He did everything without telling anyone other than MJ after the fact. So he shouldered everything, and to see him pass that knowledge on to a younger Spider-Man is, even if it's not Miles Morales, I think it would make more sense if it was, but to see it pass it on to a younger Peter means so much, because it's literally going back in time and saying everything you needed to when you were a kid.
I do get that aspect of the conversation, but in No Way Home, they just do it so much better because of what Toby did, yes, but they made such a great movie out of it because of him. And I don't know, it just comes off better to me as a movie than Spider-Man 2. Just because of what Toby did. I know.
You can rage me. I'm just joking.
It is a great movie. I will give you that much. I really love No Way Home, but I just think it needs this movie to exist,
Oh, I know. I'm not saying it doesn't need to exist. I'm just saying it built upon what was already made, and it made Spider-Man better.
So it's a good sequel then. It does its job.
Mm-hmm.
It
is a good sequel.
I'm not discounting. I think out of the live action Spider-Mans, it's number 2.
Yes.
I feel bad that we haven't mentioned Andrew Garfield once. I think we
I
said
love
amazing,
Andrew though.
We said Amazing Spider-Man maybe once, I think.
Yeah. I mean, well, listen, his movies were, everything around him is bad. I think he's the one. He's literally the diamond in the rough.
Right.
He's what made those movies at least passable. So he's the shining light, and I think he completely outshines both Tom Holland and Tobey in No Way Home. He's the best actor as Spider-Man I think we've ever seen.
And I mean, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 definitely has the best score out of any of these movies because it has dubstep.
Yep.
Dan agrees. He knows.
Wait, where specifically? In Spider-Man 2?
Yeah,
There's
with
dubstep?
with the electro
Yeah,
fight.
it did.
Oh, Amazing Spider-Man 2. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
There's dubstep.
Yeah, just for no reason.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. And then he started playing Itsy Bitsy Spider on the electrical coils.
Oh,
Yes.
God.
It's so bad.
It was terrible.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Everything around Andrew Garfield was bad,
Except him.
Except him. He's great. He's nominated for Best Actor.
Oh, yeah,
We'll
He was
see
great
with
in No Way Home too. To go back to No Way Home again. It
Yeah.
was-
All right. I think enough gushing about these Spider-Man movies. Anything else you want to add on the franchise, on the Spider-Man 2 in general from your notes that you got in there?
It's a little dated, but it's one of my favorites.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else you got?
That's it on the movie. Are you doing rankings?
No.
Or I mean, ratings.
Yes, ratings.
Okay.
Not rankings. What the fuck are we
We're
ranking?
gonna rank.
All right. So Gavin, what do you give this movie out of 100%?
I'd give it like a 90 out of 100.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just nostalgia factor? What reasons you giving it a 90?
Nostalgia factor. I mean, just it's the acting, the score, just I don't know. I love this movie. I'm sure a lot of it is nostalgia, but
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
in terms of like Spider-Man movies and superhero movies in general, I feel like it's one of my favorites. But also I'm biased because Spider-Man is probably like my favorite superhero. So
That's fair. Same.
yeah.
Well, Spider-Man literally is my favorite superhero, and I'm gonna have to agree with you, 90, just because the writing is top notch. I don't think I've ever seen anything better in a Spider-Man movie written this well, because it juggles all these different plot points and different threads and services all of them. Some in less ways than others, but the important ones definitely get the best. There's a backbone to the story, there's a beginning, middle, and end, and it's weird that we don't really see too much of that now.
Yeah.
And I just think it calls back to that kind of old era of Hollywood, even if you want to say it's old. This is it does so much character work that I've never seen in any other Spider-Man movie, other than No Way Home, a little bit.
see, even after all this time and however many times I've seen Spider-Man 2, I always find something new. And I found new things in this movie I've never seen before. And it just made it that much better. Like, now that I know so much more about Spider-Man, also, he's also my favorite superhero. So we were all in agreement there.
Nice.
And we're also all in agreement. I have a 90 as well. This is a 90.
Oh, all right.
I love this movie.
Wait, is this another 5-star movie?
This
Oh
is-
my god, this doesn't happen. We only had 2 other ones,
Yep.
and one of them I don't really agree with anymore.
Okay. Well, yeah, and I just love this movie, man. Like, so many good things about it. Very few negative things. Chocolate cake. And then there's James Franco could have been cut from this movie. We really didn't need him, but they had to set up a sequel, so I get it.
Yeah.
But you know what? Hey, there is very few flaws, very few and far in between this movie, and that's why it's 90 for me.
No matter how hard the internet tries to meme it and ruin it for me, it never will.
And
Yeah,
I love memes make it too, man. Like
It's true.
Yeah, I mean that's why I love Revenge of the Sith so much, because like I can find comedy and drama in it too. That's my favorite Star Wars movie too. So
Yeah.
Agreed.
You never mentioned "Punch Me, I Bleed." That's one of my favorite lines.
I'm just like, and like Mary Jane's probably like completely confused at that line because he's like, "Yeah, you're a human. You bleed.
Yeah, yeah.
If I punch you, sense. Punch me, I bleed."
All right, well, we're
Yeah.
wrapping this one up. So we are Seen It Before. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok with the handle at Seen It Beforecast. That's SCENE It Beforecast. I'm Dan.
I'm Danny. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Danny_Was. My letterbox, which is DJ Was, or my YouTube channel, which is just Danny Was. Gavin, would you like that?
I'm Gavin. Don't look for me.
Stay
Gavin.
hidden.
We'll have you on again. I think we have some Star Wars knowledge we might want to do with you at some point.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hell yeah. All right, so keep tuning the socials. Fridays we got teases for what's coming up next when we release on Sundays. Sometimes we do movies that are in theaters. They release on the Fridays. They're released like we just did Morbius recently. So there's always that.
We did that.
Yeah. So anyway, it's been an honor as usual. We'll see you next time.